All right, welcome everyone to today's class. We'll be talking about variables for typography. Okay, variables for typography. So last class we talked about this, but we didn't go much into it because of time. So what we are going to learn today is we are going to know why we should why should we actually use variables for typography. So as I said on the last class that most times why we use it is for because maybe we want to design for multiple platforms like desktop, mobile, tablet, and the rest of it. And also, if we want to be up to date to on the design system and also on Figma generally, and also for better performance, it will be easier for you to maintain your design system uh, when you are using variables. Okay, so when you are using variables, you can take your design system to another platform, and then your design system will be copied to that particular newer file, and then you continue from there. Unlike styles, you need to set it up from scratch again. All right, so let's dive into Figma um, for this. All right. All right, do confirm if when you see my Figma link.
Can see it now.
Okay, thank you. So let's give it a while for it to load. Let's see. Okay, so as I said last class, we are going to use a new design, a new file to try to set up this because this was being set up already. Um, no, Mr. Yemi, that's not what I'm saying. That's style. What I said was it is easier for you to copy your design system to another file. Let's say you have a project you want to work on, and the client has given you a link to, oh, this is where he wants his project to be done. Okay, so you're not going to use. Remember, when you are designing, take for example the task you are currently working on. So you are designing that in a different file. Okay, let's say the different project name can be also in a different file name. So it's when you are copying style to a different file, a different project, and let's use project. Okay, it will not um those styles will not set up in this other new project. Whereas when you copy variables, um copying variable, when you paste it already, uh Figma has made it such that you will be asked, do you want to copy the variables into this project or into this file? So that's what I mean. I did not say variables are more like a community thing. Okay, I hope you get that. Okay, so let me see. Let's use a different let's see. Let's see. So let me see if this was being set up here. If not, hold on. Okay, so let me see. Variables. Okay, so there is no variables in this part. So we are going to try to set up a new variable using this. So you may have a design system already that you use textiles into to design. So take note that when using variables, you still need your textile. But why we need variables in this is to make to for better performance. Okay, so you need variable for better performance. As I said earlier, you might want to take it to another platform, and also for maintenance. Okay, you might want to change the font style instead of doing it manually for all. You can just do it just in a particular place, and then it will change entirely for the whole platform. All right, so let's jump right into it. So let's use this for an example. So this was being set up already. Okay, so when setting up your variables, you need to know what font family are you using, and the font sizes that are there, the font weights that are there, and also mm, the font style you'll be using. All right, so first of all, we are going to set up the font name. What font family are we using? So for in this case, we are using but Roboto. Okay, so we are going to set up the Roboto. So the first thing you do while setting this up is to set, and Roboto is the text. So we'll be using strings for that. So I'll click on string, then I'm going to name my variable as font family. Okay, so I'm going to name it as font family. Then I'm going to slash name. So this is what I'm going to use. Then now when setting up your string value, be careful of your spellings. All right. Note how you spell. So we're using Roboto. So Roboto. Okay. So this is it. So I'm going to name my collection as typography. So I'm going to name it as typography. So the next thing you do is, what are the sizes of design? What are the font sizes? Okay. Now we are going to look into this. So we have 48, we have 32, we have 24. So let's just pick it out for easy access. We have 26, we have 82, 16. Okay, no, 16 is okay there. So we have 14 again. We have 12. Then that's basically all. Okay, so now I'm going to take it out. I'm going to duplicate it by taking it out. Okay, then going to change to white, then rearrange it. So let me close this first. So we have 42 pixel, we have 32, then we have, let me move this up, 22, all right. Okay, so these are the font sizes we are going to be working with, all right. So the next thing we do is we are going to set up our font sizes. So make sure that when you are on the primary variables, not on your font family. So you click on all variable if you are not there, and then create variables. Okay, so when we're talking about font sizes, what part of variable are we talking about? So we are going to be using number. Remember, for our font family, we use string because it was text. So for this, we'll be using number. So I'm going to say font size font size slash I'm going to say font size again, or I can just say size. Now this is me naming it. Most times your naming convention can be different, so name it as you want to name your font. Okay, so I might say okay, I might say display. Let's use display. Or let's use size. Let's use size for an example. So I have how many sizes here? I'm going to just enter it. So it's going to give me font size. So I might just say size, just a number, size 1. Okay, so take note of this. Or can just say fonts. Okay, font 100. Let me use. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to duplicate my font into 8. So you can do that by right clicking and then you see duplicate variables, or you can use a shortcut shift if you are using a window laptop. So let me rename this to font 200. So if you are using a window, you click on your shift and enter. Shift and enter will duplicate this for you. If you are using MacBook, control and enter, I think will do that for you. Then I'm just going to rename this. Remember, we are looking at 8. So I should be having 800. So I'm going to duplicate this again since we are not 6, 7, 8. So that should do it. Uh, 800. So now I'm going to attach my font sizes to all of them. So I'm going to take from the 100 is going to take 48, then 32, and then we proceed from there. So this is 48, 32, 26, 24, 22, 16, 14, and the last one is 12. All right, so now we are done with setting this up. So the next thing we are going to do is we have our font family, we have our font size. So the next variable we are going to set up will be our font weight. Okay, so when I say our font weight, what do I mean? So we have our font weight to be bold, regular, light, and the likes of it. So for our design, what have we used so far? So we have semi-bold, we have semi-bold, then we have medium, we have regular. All right, so those are the only font types that we are going to use. So now when creating your font weight, that you can do it in 2 ways. So it's either you can use it as a number or as a string. So if you use it as a number, that means you must know what is the number for weight, what is the number for bold, semi-bold, what's the number for, or the value in terms of number for medium and the likes of it. So if you are using strings, yeah, that's for strings, that means you just need to use bold, semi-bold, and the rest of it. You don't need to know the number. So for this, I am going to use number based system. Okay, remember you must be in all variables. So I'm going to call this font weight hyphen I can name it as what do we name it as? So I can call it type. Let's name it as type. Okay, so let's see. So we have our font weight created. Okay, so Now let's name it bold. Let's call this bold. So I'm going to duplicate it. Okay, we have semi-bold and semi-bold. Then we have medium. Then we have regular. So as I said earlier, I'm going to be using number for this. So what is my number for, what's the number for semi-bold? What's the number for, so this is how we are going to get it. I'm going to just duplicate this, keep it here. I'm going to detach this. So this is semi-bold. Then this is going to be medium. And this is going to be regular. All right. So after how, instead of going outside Figma to get, I'm just going to change it to developers mode. Okay. So how do you change it to the, you can either use Shift D, or you can actually click here. So this is design. This is how to navigate that. So this is design, and this is dev mode. So I can go back to dev mode here. So if I click on one of these, then checking where my typography is, you can see all this font family. Well, for this one is Poppins, and font size is 16, and our weight for this, remember this was bold, so our weight for bold is 600. Then our weight for medium is 500. Then for regular, we are having 400. So I'll go back to my design. So just to remember this, I'm just going to say this is 500, right? Or this is 600. Bold is 600. Or semi-bold is 600. I hope I'm correct. Let me check that again. Yeah, semi-bold is 600. And this is 500, and this is 400. So remember this. So we are going to go back to our variables and then edit those values. So for my font weight, for my semi-bold, I have it to be, going to take this out here. So I have it to be 600. This is 500, and this is 400. All right. So this is basically what we need for this. So let's see, it is all the value we need. For the purpose of this class, let me see. So we've gotten our font name, we've gotten our font, we've gotten our font size, and then we've gotten our weight. All right, let's just use this for this class. So now we are going to, after doing that, let's look at whether we've gotten it all. So we've gotten our font family, Roboto, we've gotten our size, okay, and then we've gotten our weight. So let's move on to apply this. So to apply this, you are going to click on Edit Style. So instead of choosing the name, so we are going to apply variable. So applying variable, I'm going to choose here, font family. Says font family is Roboto, so I'm going to choose it there. And I'm also going to choose from here our variables. So our weight is what? Is semi-bold, which is 600. Going to choose that, and then we also have our size to be font size 100. That's what's giving us 48. So I'm going to apply that. So let's see. So let me create more font style. So I'm going to call this display slash medium. call this display. That's small. Okay, so we have our three. Let me delete this out. Let me create our large so as to obey the rules. Okay, so I'm going to just name this display large. So we have our three display fonts. So I'm going to go ahead to create for body. Okay, let me create for body. I'm going to call this body slash mid large. Right. So your naming convention can be different. Okay. How well do your team or you yourself, how well do you understand while designing? What are your trick words? Okay, so when designing, this is medium. When writing this, you can decide of how you want to name it. Body slash small. Okay, so let's stop there. So we have display and body. Okay, so the next thing you are going to do is you are going to attach it to this. So you'll be doing that manually. So we are going to call this Roboto. So the reason why I did the style all first before applying this was so that it is already there for us. So I'm going to apply variable semi-bold. So that is, I can just type in semi-bold and that will come out. And we have to apply this, our font size. Right, which is 24. So I'm going to do the same to small. So if you had two, if you're working with two fonts family, so how would you have done that? Okay, so let's say you were working with two font family. How would you have done that? So let's apply to this first. Semi-bold, then going to apply. Hold on, there is a little, let's see our naming conversion. This is 32 pixel. This is for 32. Okay, so now to rename this so we have to go back to our variables. Good news. Just observe it. Just so size. So we have 32, which is our font 200. Okay. So this is just a display problem here. So let me detach this. Let's see, 22. Okay, this would have been done directly here. Display medium is to give us 32. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, I think I was not even supposed there was an easier way to even do that. Okay, so sorry, let's still apply to this. So this is still for body. Okay, for body, for our body text, we'll be using regular. So the naming and so regular. So our regular is what? Our regular is 500. Sorry, 400. Okay. Our regular is 400, and our font size for this is 16. So what was our 16 font? 600 or 16. Okay, so when you continue again from here, name, regular, I just type in, hold on, supposed to be this. I just type in regular, which is this, and then our 14 fonts. All right, okay, so let's, for the last one, I'm going to pick this up. Okay, just get it from here, like this, and okay, so let's type variables, regular, 12. So what was the 12? Okay, for 800. Okay, so this is it. All right, so this is how you do that. All right, so now there was a question in last class. Or remember, one of the reason I said we learn this is for responsiveness. If you want to design among multiple platforms. Okay, so how do we use this? But before we go, then I asked the question before. So let's say we were working with two font type. So for the second font, I'm going to use, let's say this heading for an example. So my font for this heading is going to be Poppins. Okay. So the way you go about it is just to go to your variables again. In your font family, you are going to create a variable again. So I'm going to call it string, and I'm going to call it maybe name2. Okay. Just going to call it name2. All right. And my string value is going to be Poppins. Okay. When you are doing this, be sure that you are sure of the spelling, because if not, it's not going to work. All right, so I'm going to call it font family name2, font family. My font name is the name one is Roboto. So I'm going to go back to my heading section, and let's see. So yeah, I am going to, let's create a type first. I'm just going to create a style one. I'm just going to call it heading slash large. All right, then this is just what I need. Let's click out. Or you can just from here, you can also edit it. So I'm going to change this to, going to apply the second one to it. All right. If you detach this now, you are going to see that the font has changed from Roboto to Poppins. All right. It has changed from Roboto to Poppins. This is when you are using two different font family. Okay. So, and then I can still apply my font weight doesn't change. Okay, so my semi-bold is still my semi-bold. My size is still the size. So the font family can change. I don't have to come and do different setup for my font size here. So just choose 26 as it. So it is adaptive to that. Any question before I proceed? Any question? You can ask your question. Is there where you were confused? Then I'll recap on that again. Okay, so I will take that as that we all understood. Good news. I hope you understand. You don't just well, I think I might. Yes, Mr. Yemi, yes. But that would be, yes, a different class, not here. Okay, that would be a different class for that. Yes. Okay, so let's see. So we might not really look into how to apply this to a design because of time. We need to leave in the next 15 minutes. We'll have to leave the call for the next. So in our on our Wednesday class, we are going to look into it, like very how to apply it. So before then, I'm going to give us a task. This is not it's not a promotional task. This is just a task for you to go and train yourself on it. Okay, so I'll share a file with you within, let's say, between today and tomorrow. So you are going to practice on that file, and then you are going to submit the link to me. Going to tell us the mode of submission later. So let's see. So now when we're talking about making it responsive, okay, so this is how to go about it. So let's say the first one we did was for, let's go back to our variable. So let's say this mode is for this particular mode one here. Let's name it mobile. Okay, so this is for our mobile. Okay, so this font here is for our mobile. So if we want to make it also for desktop, we'll have to add a new variable mode. So you can say a new variable mode can be desktop, or the next one can also be tablet. So let's just work with two. So let me expand this. So let me just expand it this way. Let's see. Okay. So for our desktop, so our font size will actually change. So let's say for our font 100, this can be, remember, it has to be in 8 and in 4. So we can call this thing 72. Okay, so we can name this 72. And I can also name this 40. Sorry, 40. Well, that distance is too much. So let's say 56. Okay, so I can name this. So where I use 32, it will replace by 56. So where I use 48, it will be replaced by 72 when you switch to desktop. Okay, so let's say where I use my 26. Well. Let's say for my desktop should be 40 or 48 is fine. So here 40, and you see 32. So 16, this can be 18. Okay, sorry about this, 40. All right, goodness says, can variable work without creating a style? You can create it, but when applying it, you need a style for it. Okay, so when most people are always confused most times, because they're like, we are duplicating the design system. Okay, they'll say, we already have textile, so why go ahead to do this? Because if you look at it well, what we have here is the same thing we have on the textile. Okay, but there are times, as I said earlier, when you are designing for bigger platforms, it will save you time. Take example, when we implement this, when we use real life scenario to look at it or implement it in a design, you are going to see that using variables is going to save time, because switching to a tablet mode is going to be easier. Switching to a mobile is going to be easier. So the responsiveness is what we are looking at when using variables for it. Okay, so you need style too, and also, as I said earlier, It's also using variable is going to make it easier for you to maintain your design system. Take an example, looking at our font family. Remember, we've applied all this font family to this our textile. So if I should change, I said, oh, my client is not looking for Roboto. So this other project, we are going to use Inter for it. So if I change this to Inter, it will change automatic to all my well, this is for desktop. So for my mobile, I said Inter too. So it will change automatic in all screens. Okay, that's if you use your design system well. All right. I hope that clarified this. Strings and number. The different strings is for text, number is numbers. Okay. So when I'm doing a variable that has to do with text, you can see when we are doing font family, we use string for it. So that's why we are having inter and poppins and the rest of it. So, but when we were now working with font size, which has to do with number, we use number variable. So when working with font weight, as I said earlier, you can use strings for your font weights too. You can also use number for it. Now, when using number, you have to know the value of your font weight. Semi bold, as I said, is 600. Medium is 500. Regular is 400. But if you were using variables, sorry, if you're using string as your font weight, you are going to say semi bold will still be semi bold for your value, and medium is still going to be medium for your value, and regular is still going to be regular for your value. All right. So I hope that is clear goodness. Okay, so this is it. So let's say let me just use this. I think we have 5 minutes left. So this is a design I did years ago. This is a design. So this is the only thing I could lay my hand on at a time. So let's see. So let's say we apply our fonts to this. So let me apply let's apply this 48. Let's apply let's okay, let's see. So let's apply this. Let's apply this to this and then apply. I'm just going to work on this section only. Well, the text network is bad. I don't know why the image I use here is not coming up. Okay, so that's by the way. So I'm going to use, so you can see, I think while designing this, I used two different font family. So I'm not going to use that. So I'm going to use 24 here, but I'm going to use, oh, I needed heading. I needed heading for this. Okay, I needed label for this section. So I'm just going to rush and then make my heading. Where is my heading? Or my label, sorry. Going to give, no. I don't have, okay, that's desktop. So desktop is going to change. So this is my body text for this. So let's just say, let's use this. So if I use, let's say I use my body text, let's say I use, I hope you can still hear me. Please, at any point you cannot hear me, please let me know. So let's use our body text for this. I'm going to use large 16 for this because looking at our variables for my body text here is going to change. So where was that? So this is font 18. So yes, you can see I used 18 here where we use 16. So it's going to change when you switch to the desktop. And when I use 20 here is 32. Okay, 24 for my mobile is going to be 40 on my desktop, 26 is going to be 48. Okay, so So let me make this 20. Let me make this 20. The font size is, we just pick some, we did not do a comprehensive font placement. So now let's look at this. Okay, so applying this, I have applied my font. So if I detach this, oh, that's the not, hold on. So let me apply this to my large. What happened today? So let's see. My large, did I not apply? Okay, I did not. So I'm going to apply this because we need that for it to work. So I'm going to apply poppins. And I'm going to apply semi-bold. And then my size, of course, I'm going to apply this to it. Okay, so I think this was applied. Let me see my body because I need this for this to work. All right, so now looking at this, we have applied this to our text. So we have applied this. So if coming here, I will now have to, so let's click on this, our text. So I'm going to apply variables to it. So display large is our variable, which is 48. Hold on, something is wrong. Let's see. Okay. Hold on. There is a miss of the old. So let's see. Oh, did we use here? Take this color. Anyways, can still be that way. So let's see. I think there is something. Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. I think this is. So I'm going to apply variable mode to this. So you can see that it already is in auto. Okay. So let's say I applied everything to the whole entire system here. It's supposed to switch some to desktop. You can see it have changed. Okay, so it have changed it to, let me just manually do this because of let me just, so anytime you are designing, make sure you are using your auto layout. Well, as I said earlier, this was a design system that has been a while, so that was when I was still learning. I think, let me see, it should be, I think 2023. So this is a design I did in 2023 for doing a training section that way. So so now you can see I can easily switch from here. So let's say I had applied this, so I can automatically switch from here to mobile. I can switch from here to desktop, but it will not change because I have not made a variable for this. Okay, so this is how you work with it. Because of time, so you can see this has changed. So let's say I was going to use this for a desktop view. So let me just bring, sorry, a mobile view. So let me just bring in an iPhone here. Okay, so I'm just going to name this mobile. So I'm just going to bring in this section. Just going to duplicate this section down here. And then change it to 375. Right? I hope that's correct. Yeah, 375. Okay, so if I switch from this, so I'm just going to click on the text, which the var variant has been applied to. So if I click on it and then change it to mobile. Let's see, change it to mobile. So you see, so I'm just going to apply mobile to it. Then if I switch from this to mobile, yeah, it's already in mobile. So this also is in mobile. And this is apply this typography desktop. Okay, so this is already desktop. If I change it to mobile, it changes. And then if I change this also to mobile, it will also change. So this is how to use this particular text typography variables. All right, any question? That's where we'll stop for today. Hopefully in our next class, I will set up everything and then we'll look at how to use it in design system. All right. I think the next 4 minutes, the next class should be using the platform. Any question? So do well to Vera, is it more do you understand it better now than last class?
Yes, I think it is, but to be sincere, I was not really here 100%. So I'll watch the video again, and at least from the last thing you did, it made sense. So I'll look at it again. Like,
Okay. Okay. Mr. Yemi, is you copy it by copying. So let's see. Let me just show you that real quick. Let's say. So let's say for my typography, this has already been set up. So if I should copy this, so let's say copy, then I create a new file, a new design file. So let me say design. So this is not related to the other project. Okay, so this is a different file entirely. So if I should paste it here, Figma will ask me paste with on published. So I'm going to copy variables into this file. When I copy it, you now see I created 5 variables. If I should go back to my variable tab, I'm going to see the variable I created. So with this, it will be easier for you to actually use it with another project. Okay, it will be easier for you to use it with another project. Remember, I created so many, but I only applied 3 to it. So that's why you are seeing it only this. So if I had applied it to everything here, I would have had all my typography design system in this other file too. So that's how you copy it. All right, Gift, go ahead. I hope that's okay, Mr. Yemi. Gift, you can go ahead.
Okay, good evening, sir. Please,
Yeah,
thank you for the class. My question is not about this class. I want to ask, this on my Figma, I can no longer find this stroke. This stroke that is the down stroke that I use to control this panel. I cannot find it. I don't know if it's from me or it's general.
Which one? This one?
Yes, this stroke, this control panel, the horizontal one. I don't know. Yes, this one, the horizontal panel.
They are okay. How do you navigate before? You can just use your pan now to move. It is there. I don't think it's from. You did not do any settings now, did you?
I don't know. So please, secondly, I want to ask that what is MISC as in MISC? What is that, please?
I gave you a resources to look at. So go and look at that resources. There are the resources on the tax. Go look at the resources. You will see what is MC. All right. All right. Any other question before we close? 2 minutes more. Please, if you have a question, you can just unmute so I know if you have. Mr. Yemi, I noticed it seems network kicked you out. I hope you got the answer to your question because I showed you how to use that. All right. If you did not, you can go back to YouTube and then check the video, or in the next class. All right. Yeah, in the next class you can also ask the question if you are not clear on it. So we've come to the end of our class for today. The class will hold again next on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, hopefully, we are going to clear everything about this typography and also the color section. So I'm going to show us still on the next class how to switch from light mode to dark mode. So there are some designs that clients will give you, and then they will tell you that they want a light mode and dark mode design. So how do you design that easily without having to design afresh? So variables is what helps you to achieve that. When you set up, that's when you set up your color using variables. All right. So let's have a wonderful night rest. Good night, guys.